and welcome to another episode of Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. And animal wrangling for us again this week is our loyal volunteer, Tammy, and she has Cheyenne right now. Cheyenne is one of our dogs that doesn't really need a ton of wrangling because she's one of the better trained dogs that we have available for adoption. And the only thing that Cheyenne loves more than food and people is tennis balls. And she likes to have as many of them in her kennel as humanly possible. She will catch them, carry them around, chew on them, bounce them against her kennel wall. She loves to play with tennis balls. You can get her to do pretty much anything as long as you have a tennis ball. Other things that Cheyenne knows, she knows sit, she knows shake, she knows down, but she's toy motivated and she prefers toys instead of treats. She is perfectly content to play with someone. She will play ball for hours, but she'll also play by herself. She plays with tennis balls by herself in any kind of setting. She kicks them around and she's happy to kick it and chase after it herself. Cheyenne is a black lab mix, and she, as you can see, has a lot of energy. She's very playful, but she is an older dog. She's 7 years old. So when you're adopting any older dog, you want to make sure that you're getting them senior vet checks, reading all of their medical before you adopt, and that you're also taking the time to take the information that you've learned and talk to your vet to make sure that it's something that you can handle. You can give any senior dog the care that they need, both emotionally, physically in the house, and then also financially. Older animals tend to be more expensive just because, like people, they incur more medical expenses. Other things about Cheyenne, she's already spayed, she has been vaccinated, she's been dewormed, all of that stuff. She's tested negative for heartworm, Lyme disease, ehrlichiosis, anaplasmosis. One of the things that we have learned about Cheyenne is that she does better in homes with older children. So we're looking to send her to a home that has adults only or teenagers. If you are interested in visiting with her and seeing if she's going to be a good addition to your home, you want to stop in at the shelter and then take it from there. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue, and we are open to the public 6 days a week. Our next guest is Erico, and she came to us as a stray. Someone found her and they took care of her for a little while, but then ultimately they brought her into us so that we could find her a more permanent home. She is a beautiful red sable color, and she's actually listed as a Rottweiler mix. She's about a year old, so she still has a little bit of puppy in her, but she's kind of, what her personality is going to be. And when she came in, she was, jumped right into the toys. She can be a little shy at first with strangers. So if you're looking to make her part of your family and you stop by and you take her out and visit with her outside of her kennel and she's not warming up to you right away, it just takes her a little while. Give it a little bit more time, or maybe stop by and visit her with her on another day or later in the day to give her a chance to say, oh, I recognize these people, they're familiar to me. According to the person that found her, she loves to play with toys, which we've seen today, but they also said that she eats plastic toys. Now, a lot of dogs will find certain types of toys that they will destroy. We have a lot of dogs here at the shelter that destroy fluffy toys like the ones that we have out here. So when they are known to do that, we won't let them have them unsupervised. We don't want them to destroy the toy and then eat something that could make them sick, hurt them. So since we do know that she already loves to destroy those plastic toys, you just want to make sure that you're only giving them to her when you're home to make sure that she doesn't eat any parts of those toys. They had her around another dog and also a cat. So those are things that are good if you're looking to add a second or third pet to your home. She's very friendly. She has no reaction to the other dogs. She's easy to obtain. She's easy to walk. We didn't have to use a harness or anything for her. She has no food aggression issues. She willingly lets go of objects. She leans in and enjoys touch. So there's a lot of wonderful things about Erica. We just need to find her a loving home to be wonderful in. If you are interested in making her part of your family, again, you want to stop by the shelter and visit with her, and then we can talk you through the application process. Before she would be able to go home, we would make sure that she was spayed We would rabies vaccinate her, give her distemper and bordetella vaccines, give her a county license, deworm her, give her flea and tick preventative, microchip her, and also make sure she has a free well visit to the vet so that we know that she's going to get the care that she needs going forward. And all of that you would get for our adoption fee for adult dogs, which is $92.50. So if you want to make Erico part of your family, again, just stop in at the shelter. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We have a lot of big dogs on the floor right now, medium-sized dogs. We have a couple of small dogs, and Blackjack is one of those. He's about 10 months old, and he is a Chihuahua mix. Because he is only 10 months old, he will be adopted through our puppy process. That means that we take up to 4 applications for all of our puppies instead of 2. And we ask you additional questions on your application to make sure you're prepared for all of the responsibility that comes with a puppy. Puppies are not normally house trained. Puppies do not know, what their limits are in a house. They don't normally know things like sit and stay. They might not walk well on a leash. So we want to make sure that you are committed and understand all of the responsibility that's going into having a puppy and training him to be the best dog possible. Because puppies are more of a responsibility and because we do have to provide them with extra care here at the shelter, they are adopted for a fee of $150 instead of the normal $92.50 for adult dogs. Blackjack did come in with another dog, so he is used to being with another dog. However, the other dog was also a Chihuahua, so he's used to having, another small friend. Basically, how Blackjack and his friend got here was somebody that had left Puerto Rico due to the impending hurricane, came here, and as they were living here, they just didn't have what they needed to provide care for their dogs. So they relinquished them to us so that we could then find them new homes. When these guys first came in, they were very scared, very skittish. They've had some training, they've had some time to settle in here in the shelter. So they're doing much better now. And he is available for adoption. His friend Bella was recently adopted already. He's been with a cat previously as well. It says he's playful, he's energetic, he's friendly. We behavior assess all of our animals before we put them out on the adoption floor, and he will need work on house training. We know that he does not keep his kennel clean. When he is interacting with other dogs, it really just depends on the dog. Sometimes he's very playful, but sometimes he reacts negatively. It just depends on the dog. He's easy to walk, but he can be nervous. He likes to be picked up. But when you're getting a small dog, you want to make sure you're not carrying them around all the time. We want them to get the exercise that they need. And because he is a small dog, we're using just a slip lead today because he's not walking very far. But when you're walking him out and about, you want to make sure that you get a harness. Small dogs can slip out of their collars and kind of slip lead type leashes very easily. So that harness is going to give you more control, and it's going to make sure that you feel safe when he's out walking so that he's not going to get away from you and possibly get into a dangerous situation. He doesn't have issues with food aggression, wasn't really interested in toys, loves to be petted. So if you want to make this little guy part of your family, you have the patience that he's going to require to settle in and adjust, then you want to stop in and visit him at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. As I've mentioned, we are open to the public 6 days a week. It's a Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. The kennels are open from 10 to 5. On Wednesday and Thursday, they're open from 12 to 8, and on Saturday, they are open from 10 to 4. If you're looking for high energy, then Sasha might be the right dog for you. She's a year-old. She just turned a year-old, so she still has, she's basically still all puppy. So even though she's a year-old, we're going to adopt her out for the adult dog price, which would be $92.50, but we're going to be adopting Sasha out through our puppy process, which means we're still going to take those 4 applications. We're going to ask you all of those additional questions because Sasha is still very much a puppy. She still needs work on house training. She needs work on, walking nicely on a leash, basic manners things. She also is still learning how to use her feet and her mouth appropriately. When she gets excited, she can be a little mouthy. So we want to make sure that we're sending her off to a family where they understand all of these things and they can treat her and train her as if she were a much younger puppy. Once they get to be this size, she's an adult dog, but they still have all of those puppy behaviors, it can be a little more difficult. So you're going to have to be very patient and really be willing to put in the effort. Also, because she is such a high energy dog, you have to, be willing to work with her. You cannot be a couch potato and have Sasha as your dog. She's gonna need things like somebody to go play ball with her, take her for long walks, hikes, runs, all of those things. She's gonna need time to run around in the yard or the dog park, something. And she's gonna need that commitment to her exercise and her energy level every day. Also, you're going to need to make sure that you have things for her in the house to mentally keep her occupied. Apparently, according to her previous owner, she loves frisbees, she loves chasing balls, she also loves to give kisses, and as we've seen today already, she thinks that she's a lap dog. She will try to climb in your lap, and she likes to get cuddles and snuggles. Again, Sasha needs to work on all of those basic puppy things. A harness will be really good for her, just so that you have more control with her. But she is very friendly. She's very excited. She's got that happy tail wagging, and she gets along mostly with other dogs pretty well. So if you're interested in her, make sure that you're able to commit to her energy level. You don't want to stop in and see her if you're really not prepared to take that on. But if you are, stop in and visit with her. It takes 2 to 5 days to process all of our applications. However, sometimes with the puppies, we do wait a little bit longer to see if we can get some additional applications in. So it might take a couple extra days if you're looking to adopt one of our dogs that's going through that puppy process. The last dog guest that we have for you today is Beau, and he's a beagle, and beagles typically don't last a long time in the shelter. Beagles make great family dogs, so people pretty much come in and snatch them up pretty quickly. This guy is an older guy. He's between 7 and 9 years old. So he's way more mellow than many of the other dogs that we have available for adoption right now. This guy is going to be a great option for you if you're a first-time dog owner. You're not really prepared to take on the puppy or the high energy. You want something that you can kind of get used to the routine and of having a dog in your house. Beau would be a great option. He is color-coded blue, which means he's one of the calmest, most well-mannered, friendliest dogs that we have available for adoption right now. His behavior assessment is almost perfect. When you look at it, he keeps his kennel clean. He's friendly when you approach his kennel. He doesn't have any reaction to other dogs. He's easy to obtain. He's easy to walk. He doesn't have issues with food aggression or guarding. He likes to be petted. He shows no reaction when you handle his feet or his mouth. So he's going to be a fantastic dog for anybody, but if you've really never had a dog before and you're not used to all that comes along with that routine and the responsibility, a nice, calm, older dog is a good option because it's going to be a lot easier than taking home, say, some of the other dogs that we've seen on the show today. But when you are getting an older dog, as we've talked about with Cheyenne, you want to make sure that you are prepared that an older dog will need more medical care, senior blood work. In addition to all of the things that he'll need as a senior dog, he's also testing positive for Lyme disease. So that's another medical thing that you'll have to take on. We are not currently treating Beau because he's not symptomatic here in the shelter, but that's something that you want to talk to your vet about. It's also really important to keep any of the animals, all of your animals, on flea and tick preventative, but especially if they're already testing Lyme positive. Also, a lot of vets will encourage you to do a cycle of antibiotics, and then once that finishes, go ahead and get the dog vaccinated against Lyme disease to kind of prevent any more of issues with that area. But otherwise, he's in good health. We will make sure that he is neutered before he leaves. He'll get all of his vaccines. He'll be dewormed, get flea and tick preventative. He will be microchipped. So he will be set up and ready to go to his new home. All he needs is for somebody to come in and want to make him part of the family. But if you want to make him part of your family, stop in and visit with him here. Again, we are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. And that's going to wrap it up for this portion of the show. After the break, we're going to introduce you to some of the many cats that we have available for adoption right now, and go over a great special that we have going on during the month of November.
Child abuse is not an isolated problem. It affects each of us, and it is only through each of us that child abuse can be prevented. Get involved. Call the Child Advocacy Center to find out how to help. 301-600-1758.
Welcome back. Right now at the shelter, we have a large cat population. There's probably between 50 and 60 cats that are available for adoption right now. We have senior cats as old as 12. We have kittens that are coming back in from foster care right now, 2.5, 3 months old. We have a large variety of colors and ages and sizes, but we're starting to get to the point where, we want to get all of these animals to a home. We love having all of the cats here with us, but it's more important to get them into a home, especially since we do have such a large population right now. So in an attempt to find as many cats homes in the month of November as we possibly can, we have drastically reduced the adoption fee for this month for all of our cats and kittens. Normally that fee would be $97.50. Right now, for the month of November, that fee is going to be $22. That fee covers the vaccinations that we have to provide, microchipping, county license, those things. You still get all of the spay or neuter, you get all of the other vaccines, but we're only covering the cost for certain things, and you're going to be able to adopt any of the amazing cats that we have for $22 during the month of November. The first guest that we have on the show today is one of our senior cats. She's one of the oldest on the adoption floor, though you would probably not be able to tell just by looking at her. This is Stumper, and she is a 12-year-old orange tabby. And amongst many of her great qualities, she has the best light green eyes. They're so beautiful. She's got an amazing purr, and she's just so calm. She is a fantastic lap cat. The volunteers have told me she will crawl right up into your lap. She has seemed to enjoy belly rubs, and she, as soon as she came out, she was purring. She's purring so loud right now that I can hear her across the set, and she's so comfortable in her space. She has never really met Tammy before, and she's already very much at ease on Tammy's lap, so she's going to adjust relatively well to being in any home. This is where Thumper is truly happy, sitting on a lap, getting lots of love and attention, and just being part of your family. So it's really sad to see seniors in the shelter, so we want to get her into a home as quickly as possible. She's very sweet, very friendly, and she just needs to find that last forever home. If you want to make her part of your family, again, stop by and visit here at the shelter. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue, and for the entire month of November, all of the cats will be adopted for $22. As I mentioned, our sale this month, our special promotion, includes the kittens as well. And while we kind of tapered off a little while ago and didn't have as many kittens, all of those late in the kitten season babies have come back from foster care, and they are looking for new homes. We have, I want to say, at least a dozen kittens on the adoption floor right now. And these guys are two of those kittens. They are brothers. The gray one over here that I have is Lenny, and the cream one over there, the cream tabby that Tammy has, is Garfield. They are two of the sweetest kittens. They love to play. They are very, very active, but then they tire themselves out and they just fall asleep like that. They love to cuddle together. They are housed in the same cage together. It's always nice to see animals that really love to cuddle and be together get adopted together. However, these guys are not bonded. They do not have to be adopted together. I will say that sometimes when you're getting kittens, it is easier to get two because then they have a playmate. They have someone that's going to keep them company, someone to cuddle with while you're at work, so that when you're home and you're ready to go to sleep, they're not necessarily waking you up at 3 a.m. because they want someone to cuddle with them or someone to play with. And they don't necessarily grow out of that, as I can attest to, because my 4-year-old cat decided to wake me up at 4 in the morning today because he wanted someone to cuddle and pet him. These guys, like I mentioned, they will play with pretty much anything. I took them to an event, so they did well in kind of a strange and stressful environment. They were happy to play together. They were happy to be petted by strangers. Something that we have kind of noticed since they've been out here, we have a big door that's kind of squeaky. It made some noises, and it kind of scared them a little bit. But overall, they're very outgoing kittens. They're very soft. They're very sweet. These guys will be adopted for $22 each this month. We will make sure that they are neutered before they leave. They'll get all of their vaccines, they'll get microchips, county license, and we also provide you with a free well visit to the vet, so we can make sure that they're going to get all of the medical care that they'll need going forward. Again, if you're looking to add some playful kittens to your house, these guys are Lenny and Garfield, but they are just a few of the many kittens that we have right now at Frederick County Animal Control. The next cat that we have for you is Gwen, and she is one of our longest residents, if not the longest resident. She came to us back in late June, and she's one of the last animals that we have available that has a 2017 intake number. So we would really like to see Gwen find a nice, loving home. She's about 4 years old, and she can be very sweet, but she can also be very sassy. She is now housed in the kitty cabana with some other cats, where she's definitely in charge. She is the queen of the castle, and everybody else is just living in her world. She loves to play when she's, ready. She loves to sit on a lap and cuddle when she's ready. She's your typical cat that wants to do things only when they want to do it. If you let it be their idea, then they're into it. If it's your idea, maybe not so much. Gwen is very social. She will be the first cat to come to the door when you try to come into the kitty cabana, and she will follow you as you leave. She loves the attention. Even if you're not directly interacting with her, she likes to know that someone's around. But again, she has that sassy side to her. I say that she's a tabby with tortitude. So, be mindful that when she's done, she's going to let you know that she's done being handled. Another thing that we know about Gwen, she's not a huge fan of being picked up. She will come and jump on your lap and come sit next to you and stuff like that. She doesn't necessarily want you to pick her up and carry her around, things like that. Gwen is also one of our more plump animals that we have available for adoption. So if you were taking her home, a diet would be an excellent idea for her. Also some exercise. We put her in the kitty cabana so she could move around a little bit more, and she has lost some weight since she's been here, but because she's has a smaller build, it would be better to get her down a couple of more pounds. So laser pointer, chasing things, strings on sticks, those types of things would be good for her, in addition to just monitoring the intake of her food. And you can talk to your vet about getting her on a good diet. It's not something that you want to do too rapidly, because that can have negative effects on them as well. You want to do it a nice, slow process. But again, Gwen is kind of a character. She's got that big personality, and you can see her anytime in the kitty cabana. She does well with the other cats, but she is definitely the more dominant cat in there. So if you're looking to add her to a house where you already have cats, just be mindful that she will probably vie for that position of dominance in your household. So maybe if you have a more submissive cat, that might be more beneficial than introducing her to another dominant kind of older cat. She's already been spayed, so she would be a relatively quick turnaround if you were to adopt her, because we don't have to get her on that surgery schedule. She's already had her vaccines, she's been microchipped and all of those things. Again, that application process does take about 2 to 5 days, but you know, this is Gwen right now. And if you want to see her in her more active self, you can come visit her in the kitty cabana. That is one of the few places in the shelter where you can interact with the animals without having you know, a staff or volunteer member present. And you can also follow Gwen's antics in the kitty cabana by liking their Instagram page. It's @CabanaCats with K's. So we post pictures of all the animals that live in the cabana, and you can kind of get an idea of what they're doing in there. Our next guest is Goblin. In the month of October, we were giving lots of our cats Halloween names, and Goblin was one of those, and he hasn't found a home yet, so he's hanging out in November with his kind of Halloween-themed name. He is a very handsome guy. He's got a beautiful gray coat. He's got some little white spots on his belly, and he's got some beautiful green eyes. And he came to us as a stray. He is between 1.5 and 2 years old, and when you come up to his cage, he comes right to the front. He's interested, he kind of meows at you. But one of the things that we've learned about Goblin here since he's been with us is that he would prefer if you visit him in his space. He doesn't necessarily want you to pick him up and make him do things that he doesn't want to do, which he's showing us right now on the show. So on his cage card, it says, "Please visit me in my cage," which means you open the door, you pet him, you hang out with him, you can play with him. Well, he's keeping his 4 feet on the cage, on the bottom of his cage, and you're not going to pick him up and carry him and do stuff like that. A lot of cats do not actually like to be held, but that doesn't mean that they're not affectionate. It just means that they'll come jump up on the couch and sit next to you. They might even crawl into your lap. They just don't want you to force them to do things that they don't want to do. Cats are very independent, and you know, a lot of people have issues when they try to force them to do something they don't want to do. They have their own personalities, so you just kind of have to figure out a kind of a compromise. Let them come to you instead of forcing them. It'll make your relationship a lot happier and make things a lot easier for you. But he's kind of settling down a little bit. He's getting you know, more relaxed. He's not necessarily as thrilled about being out as maybe Stumper was, who just kind of settled right in, but he's still figuring things out. He was a stray, so he was, you know, living out on his own for a while, so he needs to get used to having the security of you know, a nice warm home to live in. And that sometimes that adjustment period takes a while for animals. Some cats can come into a home and adjust relatively quickly. There are other cats that it takes them like a year to feel truly comfortable and feel like that space is home. A lot of people, you know, leave the shelter and they're very excited about their new animals, as anyone would be, and they're like, "We're going home." You have to remember that for that animal that you're taking home with you, they're not going home. They're going to another strange place. So you have to be patient with them and give them the time to warm up that they need. But if you're willing to give Goblin here all the love and patience that he needs to acclimate to a new home environment, then stop in and visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Again, we are open 6 days a week. Our hours of operation to view the animals in the kennel are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. That's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Pet Pals. We hope that you'll tune in next week when we introduce you to several more of the adoptable animals here at Frederick County Animal Control. We want to make sure that everyone remembers that during the month of November, all of the cats are going to be adopted for that $22 adoption fee. And we also want to let the public know that in observance of Veterans Day, the shelter will be closed on Friday, November 10th, as well as Saturday, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day, and we'll see you next week.